recently I shared the opening chapter of the book that I have that's like 70% off for the month of Valentine's as a treat to all romance readers. So I thought I would read the second chapter because the first one is all in Greta's point of view, and the second one is in Jacob's. So, in the first one, she ran into, he's a client at her father's firm, and she's less than thrilled to see him. And this is her reaction and this is his reaction at seeing her. Her, of all people, Jacob blinked. Nope, she hadn't disappeared back into his fantasies. Her. He tried not to stare, but found it difficult to accept the rapid-fire shocks. The most nerve-wracking item of the day was supposed to be signing his financial dreams on the dotted line. Instead, he sat face to face with a woman who haunted an entirely different set of dreams. He'd strive to banish the memory of their spring afternoon together. He wanted to forget the way her laughter had made him lighter, more alive. He tried to forget those soulful hazel eyes and sexy, full lips made for kissing. He sure as hell hadn't forgotten the way she'd barely given him time to dress before shoving him out the back door, confused and insulted. He'd returned to the grand salon, or whatever rich people called their extra useless rooms, to help his uncle finish the job. She had disappeared, obviously embarrassed by him and what they had done. Going by her current reaction, things hadn't changed. She still saw him as a weed in her impeccably manicured life. Not that he wanted to make their past known. A Meyer, not a Silverstone. The delivery order had clearly stated the items were for Silverstone residency. Hadn't she made the comment the home was her parents'? Shit. Was Charles Mayer's niece, daughter, young wife? Each of those options landed like a brick in his gut. Seriously, of all the women in the world, why did it have to be her, here and now? His life revolved around building rework. His focus so complete he hadn't remembered the last time he'd been on a date or even noticed a pretty woman. Then, 2 months ago, his Uncle Marty called asking if he'd help deliver and install an antique chandelier. Jacob had agreed, expecting nothing more than a little extra cash. Instead, he'd been knocked on his ass at the mere sight of a woman who answered the door. Her jewel-like eyes accentuated her full lips was captivating. What's more, after they'd left for lunch and talked, her confident reserve and quiet ferocity seduced him. To his surprise, she was drawn to him as he to her. Watching her struggle between virtue and wickedness and letting her wild side win had been the hottest thing he had ever experienced. Mr. Grimm? He gave a mental shake and focused on Charles. Frickin' Charles Mayer. Sorry, what did you say? Jacob was proud how calm he sounded. A Mayer, not a Silverstone. Would you please accompany Miss Catalin and Miss Mayer to their office? Her father or uncle or husband said. Jacob suspected Charles had made this request a few times. They'll need your insight for the new webpage and additional information to upgrade your accounts. Okay, no problem, Jacob replied. The two men stood